I grew up in a country where inequality is really difficult to ignore. You would be staring at it at some point of time.
The very first myth or misconception I hear from people is, well, people are poor because they're lazy. And nobody that I have met in my 20 years of doing this work wants a handout.
One of the things that we talk about when we talk about dignity is agency. It is about making choices for your own life, not having to travel very far away and be away from your family to be able to create a life that works the way you want it to work.
There is a lot of money coming into India, but are they really going into companies which are impact first, technology enabled companies? The answer is no.
If Upaya can be that organization that makes those investments and help build the businesses, help create the jobs, that changes trajectories for every single family, then I know that we can really solve poverty.
If you're going to fight a problem, extreme poverty, that is defined in hundreds of millions of people, you have to think about scale.
Businesses that are working in the most marginalized communities already have so many odds stacked against them. These are areas that might be prone to more climate risks, more climate disasters. The infrastructure is always very, very poor. A traditional venture capital model just doesn't work.
You're talking about models which will not fit the regular mold. But the capital markets want the entrepreneurs to first de-risk themselves till the time they feel they are investable. But that's where Upaya's structure comes in, and we are able to take that risk.
What we could do is go to philanthropically minded impact investors and say, if you make a grant into us, we will invest those funds into social enterprises. And if the grant does well, if the investment does well, we will be able to pay you back.
Which means they can either use the capital to create more jobs, either through Upaya, or they can give it to other causes. That's why recyclability is also equally important. That's where our PRG model, our pool of record grant, is very unique.
We've all heard the term, it takes a village. And for us, it has taken many, many villages to empower those villages in India.
At any point in the year, if you asked an Upayan, what is the goal for this year, everybody can tell you how many jobs need to be created.
They could have solved any other problems that the world is facing today, but all of our enterprises are focused on how do you solve problem for communities and create jobs with enough learning and skilling space that is available.
These are people who have aspirations, who have resilience, who have the fire to take it forward. What they lack is opportunity.
And then you can go and say, we understand there is a business just down the street. If you are willing to come and be trained, we can give you a job. And we have seen people take that gift, which is what they call it, and run with it. And when we come back a year or two later, things are very, very different.
Sectors like waste management, artisan-based sectors, rural or peri-urban manufacturing, agri-processing, non-farm sectors.
These are operationally intensive businesses, maybe technology enabled, but not always technology first, but it is impact first, and therefore they become a missing middle.
The Upaya's model comes in with higher risk-taking appetite, more patient capital, and that helps the companies to grow and cross that valley of death where they can access the commercial capital.
We have to know we're having that impact. And if we don't deserve to be here. Being out in the field with pen and paper, interviewing people, scribbling down notes, from that to now AI-driven approaches, thanks to new technology, we can capture the voices and the feedback and stories directly from job holders. So we know in their own words how these jobs are helping them.
And that ultimately forms our investment thesis in a very rigorous manner.
We are looking at an ambitious goal of now moving to 300,000 jobs by 2030. And that can't happen with one organization alone. It needs an ecosystem.
Dignity means deserving of respect. It means agency. And I think that every human being deserves dignity.
We are looking at fair wages, predictable income, safe working conditions. But above that, the job holder feels valued, feels seen in the system.
They are able to imagine their lives with enough clarity that they can build for the future. They can have savings. They can send their children to school. They can invest in better housing. That's the difference between just having a job and having a dignified job.
When you can give them a positive flicker of an opportunity, you can see that light going on in their eyes. It just makes it all worth it.